Okay, Tom Frank here for Evil Giant Robots for Miranda. This is 2014, end of December. This is the year wrap-up, and what a year it has been for this project. I just looked at the video that I did last December at the end of 2013, and the project had 292 drawings at that time. Right now we're up to 467. So that means that in a year, we've added 175 drawings to the project. We had 3 sketchbooks a year ago, we added a 4th, and that one's getting started. So a little bit of an update as to where the sketchbooks are right now. Sketchbook number 1 is in New York with Adam Kubert. I mentioned that last time. I gave it to a dealer from comicsketchart.com who has a relationship with him, and he's going to pick it up for him in the spring. There's only a couple pages left in Sketchbook 1, so it's not like I need it and I'm getting... It's not like it's stopping it from getting other artists. I got other sketchbooks going. Sketchbook number 2 is up to 268 at this point, out of 345. Sketchbook number 3 is in Japan, and that's up to 102 pages. Out of 111, so that'll just stay there. That's with my friend Matt Alt, and however long he wants to have it and wants to get drawings is how long it'll be there. But I'm in no rush to get it back. Sketchbook number 4 is the newest one. I started that in September, and it's up to about 18 pages, and they're not consistent, so I got to get artists to fill in the pages that people have skipped. So 2014, you know, the different categories that I'm going after, one is Best Penciler, Inker, Eisner winners. And I currently have 18, and this was an incredible year for that category. I got 8 Eisner winners, and there's only 9 left. So, you know, those 9 are going to be very tricky. So we'll see what we can do in 2015. I'll talk about that. I've sort of mapped out the year, what I'm trying to accomplish. Caldecott winners is another category. I had 12 a year ago, and we are up to 16 or 18. I got 4 sketches and 2 signatures. So, you know, I'd like to get drawings from everyone, but some people are just like, no. Caldecott winners are tricky. Children's book people are tricky in general because there's not this precedent of getting sketches from them. And they like that this is obviously for kids, and it's difficult to pay them, even though you would think that would help. So I got David Small, I got Richard Egielski, we got Brian Floka and Kevin Henkes. Is it Floka or Flocka? I can never remember. He's a good guy. So we'll see what we can get. There's 15 of those left. Some people have said no. There was a woman, Beth Cromes, I was hoping to get, and it's weird. It was different. You know, this is a tricky thing to play. Sometimes with people who don't like drawing robots, you really got to embarrass them into doing it. But she has an email, and I was emailing her, and I said, hey, my mom is going to, go to a book signing. Could you bring the sketchbook and do a sketch? And she said, no, but I'll mail you something. And she said, what's the size? And then I told her it was robots, and then she just said, nope, I'm going to pass. So if I had just mailed the sketchbook to my mom and had her show up, she might have done something that worked before with Aaron Stead. But this, I spoke too much. Sometimes you really got to place them in an awkward situation to get what you want. It's like money isn't going to work. So we'll see. Another category are big shots. I mean, looking at 2014, there was 175 sketches that I got. There's no way that I'm going to be able to match that in 2015. And it's time to slow down a little bit. There's, I think, 657 pages total in this project. So I want to try and get the 9 Eisner winners. I want to try and get the 15 Caldecott winners, as many as I can get. And I want to get big shots. That's another category. It was a good year for big shots. We got Jim Lee. We got Matt Groening. We got Gendy Tartakovsky. So, there's, people who mean something, were willing to contribute to the project. And that's another category you want to stop and sort of look at. So here's what we got coming up for 2015. I want to talk about this. In January, I mean, we're sort of off season right now in terms of conventions, but I'll point to the things that I think are going to be big. In January, there's CalCon, and there's a guy, Terry Yates. No, Terry? No. That's a comic that I know. He's going to be there along with someone that I already got in the sketchbook, Ken Kelly. So I'll reach out to him, see if he'll do one. More Great Art is a art rep house, and they recently made an agreement with Frank Whiteley to sell his stuff, and they said they're gonna do some sketches at the beginning of the year. So January 1st, I am emailing More Great Art to say what's the deal with the Frank Whiteley sketches that you had mentioned, because I want to get on that. I don't know if he'll do a sketchbook, but maybe he will do something and I can paste it in. With one of these 9 Eisner winner artists left, I'm willing to make it work. And I do need some pages to paste in, because some people did 2-page spreads that bled through, so that page couldn't be used. So pasting, I do need some paste in. So if it's Frank Whiteley, great. In February, there's a Long Beach Comic-Con. There's no one there that I want to go. I mean, Long Beach is really nearby, but I have no targets there. Comic Sketch Art offers this service that I want to use a lot in 2015. I didn't use it in 2014, of if he's at a convention, he'll get you a sketch for $35. And that's completely worth it to me, rather than traveling to some of these conventions. So he's going to be in London. Mike Plug was going to be at the London Comic-Con, but he just canceled. Lee Bermejo is going to be there. I'm sure he's super expensive, but he's a great artist, so I'll look into it. At Emerald City Comic-Con, Joe Ng and Long Vo, both Capcom artists who can draw great robots. If I have a friend who's going to be there, I'll have him get them. If not, Comic Sketch Art as well. At the Eric Carle Museum in Massachusetts, Uri Shuleveiss is going to, I don't even know if it's pronounced that, has an exhibit going on. I don't know if he's going to be there. If he is, I will send my mom to try and get a sketch. A Caldecott winner. I've sort of underlined the Caldecott winners in green here. In April, this is a weird thing, the World Cup of Wrestling, amateur wrestling, is going to be in LA. I went last year. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time is also an artist, Cale Sanderson. I'd like to, the 4-time NCAA champion, Olympic champion. It would be very great to get him in the sketchbook. That would mean a lot to me. I don't know if he'd do it, but that's something I'll try if it presents itself. WonderCon is interesting. We talk about big names. Tomorrowland is coming out, and at New York Comic Con, Brad Bird and Sid Mead had a signing. So as far as I'm concerned, Brad Bird owes Miranda a drawing, because she did a great one for him. Ralph Bakshi has a movie coming out that was funded on Kickstarter. So he's going to be promoting that. I don't know if he'll make an appearance. He's been to WonderCon before. He's a guy I'll keep my eye on. Rob Liefeld, it's time to get him. He's always at WonderCon. Kevin McGuire, who did Justice League. What was it? Justice League International? I read it when I was in college, and I loved it, and I loved his art. So he's going to be there. Big Wow Comic Fest, it's going to be tricky seeing the artists that are announced. Eduardo Risso was there 2 years ago. I didn't get a sketch from him. I still need one. He's an Eisner winner. Boston is, I know the people in Boston. I'm going to push for them to invite Risso, Quietly. Brian Boland is someone that I want to go after. I need Eisner winner. He goes to Baltimore a lot. He didn't go this year. If he goes in September to Baltimore, I'll try and get him. John Cassaday. There's a Star Wars convention in Anaheim in April. So maybe Joe Johnston will be there. Maybe John Cassaday will be there. He's got a comic book on Star Wars that's out. I've got a letter written for Crash McCreary, who's like the person my daughter wants the most in there, in the sketchbook. He's simply amazing, concept guy. I know where he lives, so if I get sketchbook 1 back from Adam Kubert in the spring, I'll send a letter to Crash McCreary. I think, sketchbook number 1, the longest one in the project, if he were to do the final page, the penultimate page before Miranda draws her evil giant robot, that would seem fitting to me. Heroes Con, I did very well at last year with a friend, Brad Rader. I'm not sure if he will be, he'll probably be going back. Comic Sketch Art will be there as well. I can use them. I don't know who's going to be there, but it's a big thing. And the big one is the American Library Association Conference, which is in San Francisco. That is like something I'm really crossing my fingers for. That's where I got Caldecott winners last year. I'm hoping for more of them this year. It was in Vegas last year. San Francisco, it's Peggy Rathman lives near San Francisco, so she might go. She hasn't put out something in a while, but she's a Caldecott winner. I have no idea if she would do something or respond to the project. Brian Selznick has a book coming out next September, so he could be promoting that at ALA. Alan Say has a book coming out next fall. He could be promoting that. I think he would do it. I think he would do something quick. I think he would respond to the project. If Uri Shulevitz isn't at the Eric Carle Museum, he could be there. He's been to ALA conferences before. Chris Van Allsburg could be there. I've tried to get him in the past, but he said no. But if I get a signature or catch him in a different mood, who knows? Someone who would do a great drawing in the project, who I know would love it, is William Joyce. So he's been at the ALA conference a few years ago. He could return. He could be at CTN, Creative Talent Network, in November. His company, Moonbot Studios, was there, so I could imagine him showing up to represent as the head of the company. San Diego Comic-Con is the other big one. So it's like right now, American Library Association San Diego. Bruce Timm is there every year. This would be the year that I'd want to go after him. Nate Simpson, who Non-Player 2 will be out, he's trying to go. He said he would doodle something in my sketchbook a while ago. So I want to get him. I love Non-Player. It would be he would do a great one. John Cassaday, if he's not at Celebration, he could be at San Diego, and I know people who know him, and he does free sketches. So he's tough to get. Like if you're going to get anything from him, it's going to be a quick sketch, and I'm fine with that. But he's just tough to nail down, and he's seldom at his table. Shinji Aramaki was at San Diego last year. I don't know if he'll be going back, but Captain Harlock, tons of mech stuff. Great designer. If he's back, I'd love to try and find out. I didn't know he was there until after San Diego was over. P. Craig Russell was at San Diego last year doing one panel. He's tough to get. Maybe I could set something up. I know he did a sketch in someone's sketchbook this year, but it was a big deal. He's probably very expensive, but he's a legend and he's worth it. Ralph Bakshi, if he's not at WonderCon, would probably be at San Diego, so I'd like to get him. The Boston Comic Con, as I mentioned before, I do have leverage there. So all of these guys who have won Eisners that I don't have, that 9 left, I can ask them to invite them. It couldn't hurt. But I am trying to keep my eyes open. So in September, the Ventura Comic Con, Long Beach Comic Con, Baltimore. Baltimore would be most likely to have people that I want. New York Comic Con in October. Oh, there's another convention. It hasn't been announced. It's usually in June. Special edition. That's sort of the New York Comic Con, like comic book people only. It's in the North Hall there, where their Artist Alley was this past October. So there could be people there that I would want to get. So, there's just a lot of guesswork at this point. I want to keep my eye on Bakshi. I want to keep my eye on Ed Young, a Caldecott winner, who updates his way. I know where he lives, and so if he's doing something, I could send the sketchbook to my sister, and she could try and get him. Brian Selznick, he's got a book coming out, or as I mentioned before, Shulevitz. There's a great robot artist who lives in LA, Darren Quash, who I'd love to get. Sid Mead, I got to check out his website for Tomorrowland signings. And Alan Say, because if he's not at ALA, he could be doing a signing at the Japanese American Museum in LA. So, you know, I'm not going to match 175 this year. I'm just not. But I want to get some good people doing this stuff. So it's such a huge project, and it keeps snowballing and getting bigger. And there's, you know, over 200 pages left to get. So I want to make them count. So keep following us, and you know, I'll keep you updated in 2015. Go evil giant robots!